You might arrive in the middle of this session, in which case please do go up and get yourself a coffee. This session is going to be relatively informal with a lot of discussion. So this is about the role of the librarian in decolonising the curriculum. So over to...
Yeah, so, yes, why am I talking about this? That's the first step. Why am I going to talk about this? Well, I've just recently been to two conferences. I was very lucky to go to a conference in Venice recently, the Librarians, Architectural Librarians Conference. It was fantastic, it was wonderful. So I thought, well, I better talk about it, I better justify my presence there. So that's why I'm doing that's why I'm doing this. And the theme of the conference was globalization and diversity and so forth. And within that, there was a lot to talk about. There's quite a few presentations about decolonising the curriculum. It was kind of new on me. I'd heard of it, but yeah, it was quite engaging. There was a lot of kind of discussion around that and looking at readings. And so, yeah, I'm going to talk about that. But I also went to another conference in Birmingham. It was a Talis Insight Conference. Not quite as salubrious surroundings, but a nice place. I like Birmingham anyway, so it's a good place. I like the market there is just fantastic and so on. But, and the library as well. The library's brilliant. I talk about that. So that was at Dave's conference, and there was another big thing in the afternoon: decolonising the curriculum. So really, that's why I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be looking at what is decolonising the curriculum, where does it come from, why do it, and how can librarian help with this. So that's what I'll be covering in this session. So, well, as I just mentioned, inspired by a tale in two cities, Venice and Birmingham, and a tale of two conferences. So, first off, we got ARCLIB Conference 2019 in Venice. ARCLIB stands for Architectural Librarians. And we got the Talis Insight Europe Conference in Birmingham. Hazel went to the first day, I went to the second day. And that's what we'll be looking at. That's the library there. So what is decolonising the curriculum? We're just going to start with this. I had to find out what it was all about, what the definitions of it were. So decolonising the curriculum asks us to think about the implications of a more diverse student body in terms of pedagogy and achievement, because we live in a society marked by structural inequalities of different kinds. As educators, we must work hard to give our students equal opportunities to flourish and succeed. Yeah, very good. That was taken from SOAS. And they were asked by students to look at their kind of curriculum. And decolonisation of the curriculum is a profound project that is concerned with addressing the devastation and ongoing violence that European empires have perpetuated against people, mostly, but not exclusively, from the global south. Seems quite here. Quite a radical, quite a polemical kind of definition of it. And another one from DEFRA, this is in South Africa, a college in South Africa. The definition of decolonising the curriculum remains a grey area. There's also no clarity about whose responsibility it is to undertake this process. It's crucial to develop shared understandings and ideas of the meaning of both curriculum and decolonising. So really, it's a tricky one to define, really. And so where does this come from? It comes from the Roads Must Walk campaign, which started in South Africa. Cecil Rhodes. They started in colleges. They started and places. They started pulling down statues of Cecil Rhodes, and it spread to UK students, Oxford University, and who campaigned for the removal of the statute of Cecil Rhodes at Oriel College, and at the same time requested more inclusive learning. This happened in 2015, and further demands were made by students at Birmingham University and Cambridge University, London School of Economics and so on, and then quite a few other colleges as well, which I listed there. And also, to really, what they want, what came from this was a look at the curriculum in general and how it impacted on libraries, with librarians then consulting with course providers or module leaders or academics to look at reading this and look at the diversity within reading this, where the authors came from. And it also developed to include not only BAME, minority ethnic students, but also LGBTQ plus students. So it's kind of the whole thing as well. And I got this quote here from someone in The Guardian. Most reading this in my discipline of political international relations consists of an overwhelming majority of white authors and ignores excellent books produced by lay scholars. So, at the ARCLIB 19 conference in Venice, Geoff Morgan presented a very engaging presentation on what the library services at University of the Arts London were doing about this. And she commented that staff at UAL have been involved in the RAS, that's the Retain, Achieve, Succeed research program. And it explores disparity between levels of degrees awarded to Black, Asian and minority ethnic, BAME and UK white students. And focuses on, the focus of the study is the institution and curriculum rather than the student body itself. So there is a link to it. I'll circulate this presentation with all the links, because there's a lot of links in there which contain some further information. So that's the last program that they had there. So the ethnicity of the students at UAL are, we've got 47% Black and minority ethnic, and 53% white. And the gender is 78% female, 24% male, and 231 students identify as trans. Now that's that was quite eye-catching, that last one, that kind of very, very interesting statistics and sources. They have this diversity and inclusion report. So quite an interesting read, and on page 6 we can see the breakdown there of the diversity of the students. So, yeah, so how can a librarian help with decolonising the curriculum? Well, at UAL, the library has looked at collections, and in particular, reading lists. So, with architecture, a checklist was developed to look at authorship and identity, intersectionality, geographical coverage, place of publication, voice and ownership, date, language and translation. So look at this project of looking at the reading list. And here we have LCC, Liberating the Curriculum, student-staff collaboration. So it was a student-staff collaboration, which they had a project team, and they coordinated all this to look at the reading list, and they used You just use the internet and use whatever to find out where the authors were coming from, what ethnicity, what sexuality, and so forth, and made a note of them. And they also looked at the printed historical collection. And yeah, I just want to go into that link there. So that's a kind of link to the website. It's quite a lot of interesting graphics there. So moving back. So UAL, the printed history collection, they looked at that as well, and looked at cultural misappropriation, white censoring and labelling. And there we are. That's it there. So kind of produced a whole leaflet about how they address this. So quite a lot of work going into this project. And yeah, given the focus of the printed historical collection, these books will primarily have been collected to demonstrate the changing processes of book production rather than their content. Yet the items shown here reveal something else, our colonial past. Some provide evidence of dissenting voices which were critical of colonialism at the time, but most are the product of, and therefore are unquestioning, of colonialism. So they had a kind of audit, really, of their collections. So there was a UAL, there was an exhibition there, which a library organised for decolonising the arts curriculum, and events at the Camberwell and Chelsea libraries from 4th of December 1918 to January this year. So it's quite a recent thing, all this, you know. And there were presentations by subject librarians about the collection, lunchtime book talks by staff and students, discussing titles that have been influential in their thinking about decolonisation and their ideas, decolonising the arts curriculum, playlists set up on Oxford Broadcast, so they used that to kind of create a kind of reading list, well, a viewing list, I suppose, a playlist. And that's the link to the decolonising. That's where it all came from. And we've got another one just down here. And if we scroll down, I just want to show Robert this for your attention. He's a makerspace thing. So they were looking at decolonising spaces, really. So, don't know whether you've seen that, but that's a kind of the diverse and accessible natures of makerspace across London provides rich and exciting art, taking and learning ecosystem for all. Those who stand to benefit the most are learners from non-privileged backgrounds and young people, adults who have no formal ethnic qualification. So they looked at that as well. So quite a lot of work going on there, and this has all been done by librarians. So it's quite a big project, really. And so that's the University of Arts. That's the presentation I went to in Venice. So that's Venice. So we're moving on now to Birmingham, and Talis Insight Europe, Birmingham, 2019. There was a presentation by Emma Myers, Richards, and Sarah Field, liaison librarians, and Evangeline Agaman and Colin Mensher, student diversity mark officers at the University of Kent. So this was a collaboration between two academic liaison librarians and two students. And the diversity mark project officer's aim was to audit reading lists by finding nationalities and ethnicities of authors within reading lists. So it was quite, I found it a very engaging presentation. This for me was perhaps more powerful than the one I went to, that I saw an event presented by Jess Prisley from the University of Arts, London. The reason for this was they had 2 students of Afro-Caribbean heritage joining them on stage in front of about 300 delegates, presenting this project about sort of decolonising the reading list. And I just found that I felt quite emotional about it. I thought that was really powerful. You know, it was really, really great. And the students spoke very clearly about this. And I have a link to the, for those of you that want to know more about it, there is, on that link there's a really good podcast. They recorded the session. So I mean, to listen to that and to listen to these 2 students talking about the project is quite something. So if you want to explore the diversity of the curriculum or decolonisation, that would be a good starting point to see what can be done and how you do that, and those students' perceptions of it as well. And they looked at those reading lists and found a disproportion in terms of sources and ethnicities of the authors, most prominent, with the most prominent being British male. So the university, they drew up this table here. So the University of Kent, why the library? Well, you'll find that being presented within that podcast, but they've got this, can't read it off the screen too close. Yeah, so they've got data reading list data, engagement collection review, toolkit for conveners. The toolkit still, they mentioned, was still very much a work in progress. They haven't come up with it, but they're looking to develop a toolkit for librarians to use or for academics to use to look at their reading list. And then the academic process, explore options for new content, engage students, colleagues, add content to online reading lists. So what they're looking at doing is annotating the reading list using the notes field in there to say, or give a bit more information about the author and so forth. And then curriculum change, diverse ideas, theories, authors, reflected in inclusive texts and resources, student experience, TEF, etc., etc. So at the University of Kent, librarians work with the school. These were librarians at the School of European and Cultural Languages, and they carried out an inclusive reading review, and they entered into columns on the style, gender, ethnicity, year of publication, publisher, place of publication. Quite a big project. I mean, this was quite substantial to get these students engaged and to start thinking of doing that, you know. So, and the reason is because they were being pressurised by students. The bottom-up approach. It wasn't so much the bottom-up met the top down, and they were told to get on with it, really. So they're all in the middle of the academics and the students. And so they didn't want a repetition of what's been going on at Oxford University, where there have been demonstrations also Cambridge and a threat of a sit-in at UAL. I've got to mention that. The students were French sitting. So it led to that. So the data of those reading lists were shared with academics using infographics and led to a dialogue with students about the reading lists. And there was an overall good response from academics, and there was internal funding that suddenly appeared for these librarians to use for the project, but also to buy resources as well, which that's a kind of carrot at the end of a thing. You know, so there were opportunities that weren't part of the general library budget, but was additional money being thrown at the library. So that's great. And it's great to have the students involved in the project. So, University of Kent, they're launching a toolkit for academics. It's still a work in progress, and they've recently set up, those two subject librarians have set up a Gistmail list. Liz decolonise at gistmail.ac.uk. So at Oxford Brookes, so we come back home now after travelling halfway around the world, well, to Venice, after going to Birmingham. So we're coming back to Oxford with a bump. So what's happening? What's happening here? Well, we do have something. We do have something going on. Not quite as big as at UAL or University Kent, but we started to think about it. But this is not a major website. It's on the site. It's something Robert forwarded. Diversity in the curriculum. Then we're starting to look at it. Not using the word decolonise. And my own personal opinion. This is my own. I don't like the word decolonise anyway. I don't like it. I can live with diversifying, but I think for my liking, I think inclusive learning. I think that's probably the best thing. You know, that's my opinion. But I really don't go with decolonise. But I can see where it's come from, but still. So this was started some time ago. I mean, we've had a PESI project here, but I haven't heard too much about it. I haven't heard it at subject committee meetings or anywhere really. So
that's because it was stalled.
Oh, right, it was stalled. Right, that's great.
It was a PESI project, and then it wasn't really picked up. So what you've got there is as far as it goes.
So my thing is, it's coming our way to Brookes. This could be coming our way. It's like could be a tidal wave, or it could be a slow, some gentle waves coming in with the tide. So it is coming in. So there's a potential. I mean, there are opportunities here for librarians. You know, so it could be impacting on us, and we might be asked at the subject committee. I've already been asked a question at a subject committee meeting for one of the architecture subjects. That's the International Architecture Regeneration Development course, the master's course, to look at how that I can help them diversify their reading list. But I had to look at the reading list really to the corner of my eye, and I thought, it's not looking too bad. There's quite a range of authors from different areas here. I'm going to feed back to them, and they'll be asking me what I've done about this at the next subject committee meeting. So I did promise to find something. So yeah, so we got that. We've also got this as well. Debbie's not here now. She's a colleague with, in the TD business team, and Debbie Lenihan has already preempted it all, really, and set up the first reading list for inclusive curriculum in building list for business studies. So a reading list for business staff developed in collaboration with Solar as part of the Diversifying the Curriculum work standard at Oxford Brookes University's PESI too. So something did come of it. Inclusive Multimodal Learning Environment Project 2015-2017. So Debbie's already looked at it, probably not in the detail at the University of Kent, but still there was a collaboration there to set up a reading list with some inclusive authors there. So, and there's potential for Brookes, as I mentioned, for library engagement. In architecture, there's discussions about diversifying the profession as a whole, and we have the, and that's the school, that's the subject I'm responsible for, and we have the Steve Lawrence Charitable Trust Built Environment, and they offer bursaries to students, to various students. So this kind of whole thing is still, and this was on till 2015, so it's quite a new problem, but it's a very good way of getting a whole range of architecture students. So anyway, that's all I have to say, really. Do you have any questions, or there's a lot probably covered there?
I mean, not so much a question, more sort of general comment, it does become difficult with the squeeze in budgets to purchase these kind of resources, to take the initiative to do that. If the academics are putting them on reading lists themselves.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so I think when me and Debbie were looking at that list a little while ago, we did make some purchases to help to broaden it, but that was more difficult.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what I thought about opportunities, and look at the case study at Kent University, where money was made, additional money was made available for this project. So it has to be looked at as a separate project, really. But still, like, we bought materials, if you like. So it's not going to be part of the materials kind of business as such. It's going to be where it costs. Perhaps all the stuff. That's how I would envisage bidding for this. Or it might not be that we do it. It might be that the Students' Union are jumping up and down as they did at the University in Kent, saying, look, come on, take a look at this. You know, come on, they said, you've got to do something about it. So if we don't make money, can't do it. You know, so that's the reality. And then perhaps it could be an opportunity there.
That's the first thing I thought was, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Hang on, who's going to pay for that? So as you say, it may just be a question of capital bid or something like that.
Well, I think what the whole thing is, what you did at the University of Kent and UAL, the two case studies here, is it raised the profile of the library, it made it suddenly more visible.
Yeah.
They had to get involved, they had to sort out the reading. So, hey, come on, we you know, and academics and everyone else was suddenly, that's what caught my eye with this. And I thought, wow, you know, when I heard these two engaging presentation to cities, I thought, yeah, this is something that libraries can perhaps, you know, if it does happen here, I mean, might not, you know, but you know, it's a positive. Looking at these case studies, that's the way we should go about it. We should say, right, you're looking at diversifying the curriculum. Look at these two. Look at what they've done elsewhere. This is how we got to do it. Because you know, because it's a good marketing thing anyway. I mean, Steve, you know, he seems to be doing this stuff. All those bursaries, those 150 bursaries that are going out. There are students from the Steve Lawrence perhaps going to say, right, they look a pretty cool institution as well, so it's kind of selling it. I don't know, I mean.
Yeah, Geoff, I know my lecturers are quite engaged with BAME, and I've certainly purchased books, particularly in accountancy. So I think more and more people are engaged. It's interesting.
Yeah. It's just something to think about, really. And like I said, I made these slides available, and there's a lot of links embedded in there. I've got some references as well. I've done a reference list. I hope I've done it properly. I'm not going to take it off. Don't pay too much. I'll make sure I've tidied that up before I So. But there's a lot more information out there. Not as much as what I thought there would be in terms of academic journals. I mean, there's not much peer-reviewed stuff. But certainly, I just... okay.
Thanks, Geoff. Thank you.
I think I like the idea of trying to get the SU on side and making a bid for some money for it at the appropriate point when the money's available.